Welcome to Splendid Blessings and More. I'm Calvin Rattray. I've always loved to start by saying from Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know, we're told that Psalm 23 represents the chief shepherd. He's really called the splendor of heaven, majesty, King of kings, Lord of lords. And I started listening to my parents at an early age and taking some serious thoughts basically of what they were saying. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long, and that it will go well with thee. So when I saw so many of the kids out there dishonoring their parents, I said to myself, I want to live a long life, so I make it my duty to obey my parents. And so I thought that by listening to them from time to time, I would also get the favor of my Heavenly Father, who is majestic. He's the splendor of my life. And I've always loved to hear about the blessings. The blessings come in so many ways. Your health, you go to school, you get a good grade, you grow up and you buy a nice car, you're able to travel to different places. So the blessings come in so many ways. And so it forces me really to go to the root cause of the blessings in the Bible and the splendor. I took some time to study the Bible, go through it 2 times, I believe. It could be 3. And oh, what a blessing it has been. And so I make it my duty daily to spend some time in the Word, and with the background of music. I started out with Psalm 23 because this was where I learned to play the harmonica. As a kid, I started when about 14 years, and I just blow. Many times I got frustrated. There was a time I started to give up hope. And I said, let me try one more time. And would you believe me, as I started to blow, I saw some lizards coming my direction. I couldn't believe it. And I said, wow, if the lizards are so happy and pleased to hear about the music, I may as well take some time to play again. And I play again. Until one day I started to do well. I started playing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Till I started to learn to play more songs and to write my own music and what have you. And so I give really credit and honor to God, who really gave me the wisdom and the knowledge and to understand this, because He's everything. He's the one who created the universe, the vast universe. Think about it. He created the vast universe. I've always said to myself, as a matter of fact, I was talking with some friends and I said, I've never seen anybody putting a ladder way in the sky and to screw it up and to see if anything has slackened. But I believe that God has put what I call a divine adhesive, and to hold the heavens together with His Word. And so as you think about seriously what I'm saying, I want to let you know that it is important these days to not only to think about the Lord, but to make Him the center of your life. There are no struggles too big and too hard for Him or problems for Him to solve. None, whether it's marriage, whether it's loss in the family, or other things, because we have a hope that one of these days we will see our Master when He comes. You know, my father used to, I think it's one of his favorite songs, as I journey through this land, singing as I go, pointing soul to Calvary, neath the crimson tide. Many are oppressed with sin, from within, without. And one day I will see Him face to face. Man, I tell you, it's such a treasure just to take some time to think about your Maker, the one who has given you life. Not to take it for granted. When you leave your home in the mornings, if you do work, think about His protection. He has His angels watching over you on your way back. He has His angels watching over you. Think about the food that you eat. Oh my God, sometimes you're not too sure what is in here, but you take it and you eat it, rice and peas, soup or whatever. And God is preserving you. And so, splendid blessing. I want you to focus on it because that is going to be my theme on this podcast. And I'm going to expand on it, spend the blessings and more. Look at your future. I want you to look back as to where you're coming from. I shared this true story when I was 13, 14. I was a sick kid. Never thought I would be alive today. And I got so much treatment. Nothing worked. You know, I believe they took me home because they believed I would make it anymore to spend the rest of the time at home. I had a grandmother, I mentioned it so many times. She lived 104 years and she was my faithful partner. She prayed for me night and day. I remember it probably. It was about 3 o'clock one morning. I heard her praying loudly. I couldn't believe it. And she was interceding for me in her prayer time. And I called myself a miracle kid. You know, because sooner or later God started to restore. He started to make baby steps again. Till one day I started to walk again. So one day she was passing by my door and she looked in and she said to me, I don't know why you're alive. But what God has called you to do, you should spend some time and to do it. And I started out by mentioning the harmonica. That's the joy of my life. I play it, I teach it. When I see kids playing and having fun, it makes my heart joyful. Joyful enough to know that God is glorified because He's our Heavenly Father. Because if you were to look up the word splendor, it says majesty, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And sometimes I would play songs relating to that majesty. We worship His majesty. Unto Him be glory and honor and praise. Sometimes I like to go outside and look up into what I call the glory clouds. They say that's where the angels are, watching over you night and day. I look at the water. Sometimes I'm by the ocean. You see the waves, they're coming in and going out. You see the birds. And sometimes I walk and take up the sand and look at it. Remember the story of Josh? No, it was Abram. It was not Joshua, it was Abram. God said to Joshua, if you can count the sand on the seashore, that's how I'm going to bless you and multiply your days. So I find out one of the ways in which you can give honor and glory is just to play songs. Songs of worship, songs of praise, songs of honor. This is something I'm not tired of doing. Just sing and praise, sit down, worship, take time to meditate. I think it's David in Psalm 1 said, we should meditate in his law night and day. Meditate. I notice that there are people who are tied up in what is called yoga, and they do meditate and get a time of refreshing. It would seem as if I'm going all around the place. But yes, Spendor is about the world, this beautiful world that God has created with 195 countries, I'm told. People everywhere, Africa, Europe, the Caribbean, people in the United States of America. They're everywhere. So God is global. And so I like to spread things, I like to scatter things. I like to do things which are enormous. Splendid blessings. I guarantee you, I really mean it, I guarantee you, if you take time out to know this man we call King Jesus, some people would scoff at him and they would laugh at him. But I still hold on to that truth. I call it truism. I would never exchange him for anybody else. You know, I also love to look at the New Testament. John 3:16 tells us, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. In John 14 we are told, let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there may be also. But in the meantime, he also reminds us, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. And sometimes you have to speak to yourself. They call it soliloquy. Speaking to yourselves. As a matter of fact, some people said if you speak to yourself, it sounds like madness. Well, that's not true. I think in Ephesians or Colossians, we are reminded to speaking to yourself in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, making melody in your hearts unto Christ. So as I leave, I want you to think about splendid blessings. Think about the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, He cannot die. Kings on earth die. Prime ministers, presidents, they die. They are buried, waiting for the day when our Lord will come again. Think about His love for you. Doesn't matter what you're going through, that He loves you, that He cares for you. Let that soak in your system. Think about how He loves you. So I leave you with this quotation from Revelation 12:11, that we overcame by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of our testimony. Till next time, this is Calvin Rattray. Spend the blessings and more. Till next time, we'll see you.